taking a dip in the hot springs in this week's Bleach Chapter 519, Hot Hot Heat. So at the start, Ichigo asked a question that many of us have been wondering: how did they make it to the Soul Palace without the Oaken? You know, that thing that Aizen spent an entire arc trying to make? Well, the bald guy says that the Oaken is a power that's given to each Zero Squad member and is found within their very bones. So Aizen basically tried to recreate a Zero Squad member, which apparently makes him the personification of evil. But he's not worse than the Quincy's. I don't see how you can determine that, since both groups almost brought down all of Soul Society. Sure, the Quincy's had more casualties, but like, Aizen easily could have had just as many with his power. Anyway, Hiruga explains that the palace is split into 5 cities where each of them resides in, and Ichigo's first stop is going to be to his place. Turns out the guy, whose name is Tenjiro, uses hot springs as his means of healing. He's got Byakuya and Renji held underwater, while Rukia floats across, face down, ass up. The springs help drive the Ryotsu that damaged them out, but then he chucks them into a bloody hell pond that's going to help replenish their blood that they've lost. As I was reading this, I couldn't help but think, wow, this method seems awfully familiar. Well, it turns out that Urahara stole the idea after analyzing Tenjiro's hot springs. So Urahara has been to the Royal Palace before. Okay, well, the questions that come to my mind are: why? And when? It explains what he said to Aizen as he was being sealed when he asked if he saw the Soul King too. But at what time was Urahara even qualified to set foot in the palace? Even this far into the series, the man is a complete mystery. Hopefully we get some info on him in the future. And the final page reveals that the Soul King has awakened, and basing my opinion only on his aura and his eyes, he is one freaky looking thing. I mean, it's even weirder than that butterfly Aizen mess. Well, I didn't mind this chapter. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't great. We're reminded of how evil Aizen is, and he's not just looking for someone stronger, as Ichigo stupidly put before. The layout of the kingdom is established, and I'm assuming we're going to be getting tours of each of the 5 cities for like the next couple chapters. Rukia, Renji, and Byakuya will most likely join up as soon as they're done drowning in the hot springs. And speaking of the hot springs, we now know that Urahara got the idea from the Zero Squad, which raises a handful of questions. And of course, we got a glimpse at the Soul King. He looks pretty evil, but I don't think that's the case for him. Seems like all the godlike beings in Bleach have these strange appearances. I mean, just look at the Zero Squad and Aizen. Overall, the chapter is mostly comedic while we're fed some new information, and I'm curious as to what exactly the Soul King is like now that we've seen his appearance. Also, all that fan service we got was pretty great. For my questions of the week, why do you think Urahara gained access to the Royal Palace? When could he have possibly had the time and permission to even go? Also, what do you think of the Soul King? In my opinion, he freaks me right the fuck out. That is it for this week. Remember to leave your thoughts on the chapter and answers to the questions in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to see more weekly Bleach chapter reviews, and I'll be back next week for Chapter 520. Peace.